that time of the year again. Sick season. It's the sickest season. Anyway, so I'm gonna make my homemade soup, or one of my homemade soups. I like to make homemade soup in winter because I feel like it hits that point, you know, to make you feel better, and it's comfort food to make you feel better and get well faster than canned soup. So I'm starting off with a Mirepoix, that's what they call it. You do your base, it's onions, celery, and carrots. You start off with that, then you add your whatever you're gonna add into it. So I don't really have a lot to add into it, so I have only zucchini, a hot pepper, and spinach and beans. That's all I have to add into it to make the filling, because I didn't go shopping. I really don't have any fillings, or I'm not adding any meat. Oh yeah, I could add broccoli too. I have broccoli in my fridge. So that's the 4 or 5 things that I'm adding into my soup. So, and then I'll add my seasons. So yeah, just showing you that's what I'm making. So I added the beef broth, and I added potatoes that I found. So I'm gonna add plantain to this, and I'm gonna make some dumpling for this, and spinach, and I have zucchini and beans I want to add. I don't know if I want to add the broccoli. I might add a few, you know, heads of the broccoli, but not all of it. And what else? I got a green pepper that's kind of spicy. I'm gonna throw that in there to make it a little spicy. That way it could clear your sinus. So I think that's all I'm gonna add into it. So right now I got the potatoes in there. So this is how it's looking. I seasoned it. You can see my seasons floating in there. It's whatever season you have on hand that you like to use. Just throw that in there, and I'm sure it will taste good. So I just added my seasons to it. So I'm gonna taste it later once it cooks down a little bit, just to see if it is seasoned enough. If it's not, I'll add a little bit more of seasoning. So this is what it's looking right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop the rest and add it in there, and throw the beans in there, and I'll be back. So the beans are in, and the plantain is in. So I'm gonna let that try to cook down a little bit. I'm gonna add cannellini beans to this, and I might add another kidney beans to this if it cooks down where I have room to fit everything, because it's getting kind of stuffy in here. So I just added the spinach to the soup. So I'm gonna try to let this kind of cook down, because it is too full for me to add anything else, and I want to keep stuffing it with stuff. So sorry if you couldn't hear me. Anyway, so I want to add the dumpling in there. So I'm gonna try to make my dumpling mix and let this cook down and add that, because I couldn't add the zucchini because I feel like it's too full. If it cooks down more, because I think the potatoes and stuff is too hard where it looks like it's super full, I'm gonna have to add those in tomorrow. You know, when you eat some of the soup and then it's like no soup left, you could still put some stock and make it more. So I'm gonna probably add it tomorrow and make you know, extra filling soup for tomorrow once we eat this, because I know it's gonna be like, we're gonna eat a lot of it. It's not gonna have nothing in it, so I can start adding stuff for tomorrow. So I just put one of each thing in it. So I have one left over of the plantain. Well, let me see if I could get the zucchini in there. If I can't, I'll just put zucchini in it for tomorrow anyway. I have a few potatoes left that I could add. I got celery left. I don't have no more carrots, but I have another can of beans left, so I can add that. So this is how it's looking so far. I tasted it. It tastes okay, but I'm gonna season it a little bit more. Let this cook down. So For a good soup, I think 2 hours would do for everything to cook down. Good. Yeah, so that's my homemade soup. It's not done yet. I'm gonna see if I could get that dumpling in here because I love dumpling. So I'll let this cook down. And I will be back. So I'm making my dumpling mix right now. It looks like I'm making pizza, but I'm not. You gotta make it stiff so you can mold it into balls or whatever shape you wanna make it to go in the soup. And it has to be stiff like that. That way it could maintain its shape. So that's why it looks like a dough. That's what a dumpling is, a dough ball. So I'm gonna just make two strips and then cut it, and that's what I'm gonna put in the soup and let that cook. So this is what it's looking like. Should get a better look. That's what it looks like. I seasoned it, that's why it's that color. I put sazon in it and it turned orange. So I'm gonna put this in. You don't want to have wet hands when making your what is it, dumpling, because you don't want it to be soggy. You want it to be like a little stiff before it goes into the soup. So then make sure your hands are super dry before touching it. So I'm just washing my hands again, drying it really well. I got flour all over my clothes. Cooking with flour is so messy. Anyway, so yay. I'm gonna cut it and then add it. It's still a little soft, so I think I'm gonna add more flour. At least I think it's okay. There's still flour on the board, so I can just add that. I might just roll them into balls. It's faster. So just like semi-medium chunks. I got this size, and I'm just gonna roll it into a bowl and pop that in there. The soup is cooking down, so you want to add this, that way it cooks down with everything else in there. So after I roll all of them into a ball, then I'm gonna add it. You don't have to be perfect. It really doesn't. Once you eat it, you'll be like, ooh, I want more dumpling. I learned cooking by watching my mom, and I also did go to cooking school. And I like to watch cooking shows on TV. That's how I learned. Cooking is fun for me, I like it. You get to make your own twist on things, you know, or come up with something new to eat, and hopefully don't food poison people. That's the only scary part of cooking, like getting people sick. You ever heard of typhoid, Mary? She always used to get people sick cooking. I don't want that. So I try to make sure I clean my hands all the time. Clean the area that I'm cooking in. Yep. So they are good size. These bowls. Hope you can see them because I don't have a camera stand. I don't have nothing right now. I'm just propping it up a water bottle and hoping for the best. You can hear my voice, so that's all you need to know and see what I'm doing. You don't need to see me. I look a mess right now anyway. You don't have to be perfect, but me gotta be somewhat perfect. That one is kind of big. I'm gonna fight for that one. I can't taste these, but you'll taste it in the soup. Like I can't taste it to test, so I don't know if I season it too much, but I hope not. I don't think I did, I hope not. Anyway, it will cook down in the soup and it won't be a problem. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 bowls. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 bowls. 15 dumpling bowls. So I'm gonna just toss those in. Just like so. Let them cook. And the flour, if flour goes into the soup, it thickens it, so that's a plus. Oh, I see the plantain is cooked. Everything is coming together. So this is how it's looking so far. See, I just added the meatball. I'm gonna let this cook down for like another 2 hours. Make sure everything is cooked down and tender. And plus I added the dumpling that has to cook too. So I'm gonna let it cook down for another 2 hours and hopefully it's done by then, because the plantain is already turned brown. The spinach cooked down, but I want it to cook down more. So yeah, this is the soup. This is what I call my Viking soup. When I make homemade soup, I feel like a Viking. I love it. I'm a Viking. You want to see my spoon? No, let me stop. It's my boyfriend's spoon. Imagine eating the soup with this spoon. This spoon. I'm gonna let him eat the soup with this spoon. So yeah, I'm gonna let that cook down for at least 2 hours. It's 3:55 right now. It should be done by 2 hours from now. Yeah, that'll, I think 6:55. Yeah, or 5:55. Who cares? Anyway, yeah. So it's 6:48. I'm like 7 minutes off, but it's ready. So that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you want the recipe, I'll link it down below. Thanks for watching my Viking soup video. Bye. That's a big plate of soup. That should fill us up tonight. And with some bread and butter on the side.